Welcome everyone, my name is Josh, and this is Get Bricked. Today we're going to be taking a look at the final run of minifigures that I got at FanExpo from 2021. Now, as promised, we're going to check those out today, and we've got 10 of them in this blue bag. They're all video game related characters, most of them from one line, and we got a couple other ones from a different line. But I'm excited to see how these ones are going to look, so let's just get them out of their package so we can take a look. So here we've got the last run of minifigures that I got from FanExpo 2021. Now, as you saw before, I had themed a couple of the videos, but this time we got some odd numbers, and they're all video game related characters, as you can tell, so I figured why not take a look at them together. Now, right away, we've got a pair of the Mario brothers. We've also got the Evil brothers, an alternate Mario. We've also got a Yoshi and some Goombas that I managed to find. And then from a different line, we've got a couple of Links and then a Princess Zelda as well. So let's just move it in and check out some of the better details. So to kick things off, let's start off with the main mascot for Nintendo, of course. We got Mario himself. Now, the one thing you'll notice with the Mario figures, especially all the humanoid figures, is that they're very similar designed with the print that's applied, because of course they're all wearing overalls. Now, of course, with Mario, he's wearing his bright blue overalls with his red shirt, and I like that the print goes all the way around the torso and extends onto the legs a little bit, and then you get a little bit of a print on the bottom of the feet as well, just to indicate where his shoes would be. And he's also sporting his white gloves and then his signature red hat with a giant M on it. And the interesting thing about the hats that they have for these minifigures is that they all have hair that's like molded into the hat piece itself. So you don't have to worry and like fiddle around with additional pieces or anything like that. And with some of the minifigures, we do get a print on the front and back of the head. Mario, of course, with his more happy face, and then he's got a little bit of an upset or angry face, probably for when he's got to face off against the evil brothers, Waario and Waluigi. That or when he's got to face off against Bowser. Now, you can't have the Super Mario Brothers without, of course, Luigi. Now, with Luigi, of course, we get a very similar look than we do to Mario. He's got his dark blue overalls this time with the green undershirt and white gloves, but same print on the torso and then the same print on the feet as well. And then moving up to his head, of course, you get the signature green hat with the giant L on it. And with him, because of the difference in the color, this is where you can kind of see a little bit of it faltering. With the print on the hair, it's brown on top of green, whereas with Mario, it was brown on top of red. So with Mario, you couldn't really see it as easily, but with Luigi, you can see more of the green poking out because, of course, they just printed the brown on top of it. It's just a shame they didn't, fill in around where the sideburns would be, just to kind of make it look more natural and more like he should actually have hair, not just a green piece extending off the hat. But with Luigi, we do get the 2 prints on the headpiece as well. We got the more happy face, and then he's also got a more of an upset face. But instead of the brown mustache, he's got a black mustache showing. Next, we'll look at the evil brothers, starting with, of course, Waario. Now, Waario, of course, is done up with the yellow and purple scheme, and he's actually slightly shorter because they gave him the slightly shorter legs, but at least still able to pose him a little bit. He's got the same kind of print for the overalls, just done up in the purple kind of color, and then green shoes that you can see there, and then, of course, his signature yellow hat with a giant W on it. And again, the hair is printed on. You can kind of see it from the front. Not quite as noticeable as the green on Luigi, but you can still see it. So it's just a shame they didn't cover that up, unfortunately. Now, with Wario and actually with Waluigi as well, we don't actually get a print on the back of the headpiece. We only get the 1 print, but it's got his signature look to it. So, I mean, it looks really good overall together. And of course, we mentioned him, so we might as well bring him in. It's Ouija time. We got Waluigi done up in a very similar look to Luigi, basically just replace the green with purple. And then, of course, he's got his signature purple hat with the flipped L done up in the yellow. And I like that him and Wario kind of switch colors for their symbol on top, making it stand out a little bit more, versus Mario and Luigi, who just kind of keep the same color scheme for them. But with Waluigi, of course, very similar. We got the dark blue overalls with the brown shoes, the purple undershirt, and white gloves. And of course, like we mentioned, no alternate print on the back of the headpiece, but the look that they gave him is his signature look, so it doesn't look too bad for his character. And the last of the humanoid figures, of course, is the alternate form of Mario that we got, which was him with the fire power, or I guess you could call it the fire flower power. Now, of course, with him, same kind of print, the main difference being that he has red overalls and the white accent colors. And of course, he's got the white hat with the red M on it. And he does actually come with a accessory piece, or I guess you could call it an effect piece, because he's got the fire flame fist, kind of like how he would have it if he was launching fireballs in the games. So I like that they at least included something for him to have to help signify the power he has in that version. And with this version of Mario, we do get the same print on the front and back of the headpiece as well. Same as the normal one, we've got the more happy face and the more aggressive, angry face for when he's actually fighting. Next up, we've got Mario's trusty companion, of course. We got Yoshi. Now, with Yoshi, we do get the printing around most of the body, and unfortunately, it seems like this is where a little bit of the downside came into the knockoff figures, because it looks like they have it all done up in solid green, and then they applied prints onto it, but maybe they just didn't apply the white as like a deep enough color, because it's not really covering up the green fully. And there's a couple spots where it may have been rubbed off or scuffed a little bit in the packaging, but this is how I pulled it out of the packaging, so it's a little unfortunate there. But he's got his printed brown shoes. He's got the printed white on the stomach and on the cheeks and on the eyes. And then he's got the printed, like kind of like spines going down the back of his head, and then the printed shell. Would have been nice to see those as an actual pronounced piece or part of the mold, having it stick out a bit more, just to add that a little bit of extra detail to it. Now, he does have an interesting look because they actually gave him the kind of more like buffed arms for fighting versus kind of making him look more like a normal dinosaur. The one odd part, though, is that the mouth was never actually like fully molded. It was just left hollow. So it does give him a bit of an odd look. And then, of course, we've got that seam running around his head as well. Now, he does look good with the rest of the minifigures from the Mario line. It's just a shame that he kind of suffers from quality compared to the other ones. Now, Yoshi helps round out the group of minifigures, and he's one of the last pieces of the main crew. I guess the only one that we could say we're missing is Princess Peach. That, or I guess a version of Toad would have been nice as well. And finally, to finish up the Mario ones, we've got a set of Goombas. This one actually came with 3 Goombas, but they're all the exact same. No changes in the design. They're all the same kind of look, same kind of face print. But the face does look really nice. It definitely represents the Goombas very nice. It's just a shame that they didn't include like one of the different ones, maybe one of the ones with the wings, just to kind of change it up for one of them. But the fact that you at least get 3 of them and it's not just one of them, that's at least a nice touch. All right, now moving it away from the Mario theme, we're going to move over into Legend of Zelda territory. Now, it took a little bit of research and a little bit of digging to figure out which version I have, because there's been a bunch of games. I'm a little bit behind, unfortunately, but it turns out that the links that I got, both of them are from Breath of the Wild, it looks like. as I'm sure everyone would have noticed based on some of the look of it and the symbols you get on the 2x1 piece as well. But after doing some digging, it looks like this is the Armor of the Sky set, as well as the Master Sword and Hylian Shield. Now, when I was looking at the sets, of course, I gravitated to this one because it had the Master Sword and the shield that I recognized as well. So, of course, I had to grab it. But this one looks really good with the print that they have all over the torso and the print on the legs as well. But they also included a headpiece that has like yellow and green to it. A little bit of mixing with the color, a little bit of fading in the one spot there for the print. But it does still look good overall with the sword and shield combination. So I was very happy to grab this one. I always wanted to get a Link for my collection. Now with this version of Link, we do get the print on the headpiece, but they actually have a print on the back as well, but in a more simplistic kind of style, very similar to what you'd normally see on a minifigure, without the as much pronounced eyes. But it's an interesting touch that they decided to include another print, but very much different from the one on the front of the head. Now, the alternate form of Link that I picked up, it is also from Breath of the Wild, and after doing some digging, it turns out he's actually wearing the Champion's Tunic, as well as the Traveler's Shield and Traveler's Bow, which I'm sure there's someone watching that's played that game that's yelling at me for how do I not know that already. But with him, of course, just like with the other Link, we get the print all the way around the torso and on the arms, as well as the print on the legs as well for the feet and extending the look of the tunic. And then we get the same kind of headpiece, but instead of the green, we get the blue cap to go with the rest of the outfit. So I think these ones look good together, and the bow is a signature weapon from pretty much the entirety of the series. So it's nice to see him in a version with the bow and a quiver of arrows on the back as well. Now with this version of Link, we don't actually get a print on the back, no extra print on the headpiece, unfortunately. Now, unfortunately for the printed piece, the 2x1 that accompanies them, in some of the pictures, it looks like that's attached to his belt on his waist. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the game, so I don't know what that is. Is it like a tablet, a magic artifact? Let me know in the comments down below. And I gotta say, these versions of Link do look really nice. They add a lot more detail than what we would have got in the original games that I played. And maybe I'll have to take a look and see if we can find one of those. Maybe eventually I'll get a chance to play Breath of the Wild. And the last of the minifigures we're going to take a look at is from Legend of Zelda, of course, but it's actually the Princess Zelda herself. Now, this one is a version from Twilight Princess. Now, I've never played that one, and what made me pick up this set is that it's a very similar look to the one from Ocarina of Time, but I do love the look of this one when you see it next to the other Links. It's nice to see them kind of accompanying each other side by side. And with this one, we do get the print on the front and back of the torso, a little bit hidden there by the hair piece, kind of extending and covering up most of the back. And then we've also got this angled print for the bottom piece, which is basically just to indicate that a minifigure is wearing a dress. It's the same kind of idea we've seen many times in Lego and other brands when they do female characters or even male characters wearing a dress or some kind of cloak or something like that, or robe that kind of covers their feet. And it's actually funny because they actually poke fun at that in the one Lego movie where Wildstyle is stuck wearing a dress. And of course, they just kind of have her hopping around. Now with the princess, we do not get an alternate print on the back of the headpiece, but it does look nice because they've actually got the tiara or crown that she wears kind of printed on the headpiece itself. So when you snap the hair on, it does look really good, and it looks like she's actually wearing it in her hair. Now the hairpiece itself is really interesting because they actually have the kind of elfish ears molded into it, and they actually do have those like flesh colored, so they do kind of stand out a little bit. A little bit of the yellow's kind of like peeking through and kind of slipping through there, unfortunately. But the yellow hair does look nice with the multiple braids. So that is all of the video game themed minifigures that we managed to pick up from FanExpo 2021. And that actually closes out the sets of minifigures that I got from that show. So I'll keep an eye out and see if we can get some more at an upcoming event. We have a couple lined up in the future, so we'll keep an eye out. But let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite from today. Are you leaning towards more of the Super Mario Brothers or more towards the Legend of Zelda? I think personally my favorite is the Link with the Master Sword and Hylian Shield. But I am a fan of the Mario Brothers, of course, as well, because those ones do look good together as a set. So let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, or is there any other ones from these lines or other video game lines that I should be looking out for the next time we do go to one of these conventions, and maybe I'll have to see if I can find a few of those. But let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you get that bell on, because then you guys can stay up to date whenever we release new videos for the channel. Now, if you need a one-liner for when you defeat your next big boss, just be sure to tell them that you just got bricked.